What's up, YouTube fam? It's Dark Angel's Journey, and I am Shakira. I'm a little late this morning prepping, so you're gonna have to give me a sec to get logged into everything. So, yeah. Anyway, no one's here anyway, so I got time to do that. So, as always, we're gonna spend the time back testing my setup on Think or Swim. I just gotta get logged in to TOS. I want to focus today on using breaker blocks, which should suit pretty well with my normal um, trading setups, and inversion fair value gaps for entries and things like that. So let's go. Hope everybody's enjoying the weekend. Yesterday was glorious. Today actually should also be pretty nice. I could go back to bed, no joke. So be happy I showed up, y'all. What am I talking about? I'm just happy I showed up for myself. How about that? It's good to show up for yourself, you know what I mean? No matter how tired you are. Last week I had fun um activities to do. Actually, did I have a live last week? I don't remember. Gonna be interesting for next week. It's Easter Sunday too, so I don't know. Folks might not even show up today, and I could have slept in. But that's all right. Happy Easter to folks who are interested in that stuff. Whoopsie. This is why I like to try to pre-prep before I get in here. Plop that back. Go. All right, so we ended on March 13th. So let's head over to the correct contract. Switch out the days. Now we're on to March 16th. And as I mentioned, we'll be looking to utilize breaker blocks and inversion fair value gaps for the setups. We'll start on the 4 hours so I don't get any FOMO. And now we have a kitty walking along my laptop, at least off to the side at least. Okay. All right, so the first things first, we got to see if there was news that day. So let's take a look here. So March 16th, the week of March 16th, we had some light news at 8:30, so nothing too crazy. So let's zoom in on where we are. Maddie, don't come here. Little girl. You're both up here. You okay? What's up? All right, all right. Who's a pretty girl? She just wants loves. Had a getting big, this one. Swear to goodness. All right, what do we have? And she's gone, just like that. Yay. All right, so on the 4 hour, oops. I wanted to zoom in a little bit on this area. And let's plop that over and maybe make me a little smaller so we can see more of the charts. That's the important stuff, right? Also, let's reset the account to 0 so we don't have any expectations around. All right, so we have no real news. 8:30 is already gone. And I want to see if there's any big fair value gaps that we've been sitting around. Here's one. We've been rejected from this guy nicely. From a bear's perspective, Almost looks like we're in a weird range. I don't like ranges, but I'm trying to learn to play them. Yeah. So we're in like a small range here. Let's take a look at it. From this high. Well, technically we could go from this high, but it's a nice equal high up here. So we'll just use this internal range to look at stuff. And if we're, ugh, so much hair, we brush hers. So we've just hit the above the 50% of the range, and we've been failing to go higher. So lows look like a good play. So we're just by the 50% of the range. We're making a fair value gap here. Personally, I would love, love, love for a fair value gap. If they tapped it and dropped nicely, this would be my first target on this day if we get it. Let's do some sell side liquidity on that guy on the 4-hour. It's also an extreme since there's no wicks. Let's just note that. Right. And there's a bullish fair value gap underneath here. So I'm going to note that as also target for take profits as well. Oh, I'm hungry. You guys, I barely made it out of bed. Let's go. I was like not willing to get up. All right, so it's 9:43. We don't have any more news. I have this guy. For upper targets, if we bust above here, I'd be very, very interested in this 4-hour high right here. It's also at a 4-hour extreme above, so I'd be open to that guy. So some 4-hour buy-side liquidity there. Let me take a sip of this turmeric ginger tea. Now, because we're in a range, we're in the premium of this range, any shorts should occur from up here, so I wouldn't mind a rejection from here to drop that way. So the 1 hour. One of the things I've been working on is how to decide whether I'm going to take my trade on the 5-minute or the 1-minute. It's kind of hard. So we've tapped into this 1 hour fair value gap. We dropped very aggressively. We have, let me delete this. We have disrespected this bearish fair value gap quite nicely. I will note it because it could be used as a area of interest to take the short from. Even though we're above the premium, we're pretty close to it. So still plenty of space to get down to the top of that guy. But for right now, the 1 hour is pretty bullish. The 4 was turning bullish, but the bigger portion of things is still pretty bearish. But we're in a gross range. So because of that, a sweep of a higher time frame liquidity, a nice 5-minute shift, second shift, I would be interested in a short. That 15 minutes looking pretty bullish. So let's see, we'd need to see a nice 5-minute setup. So, oops, that's 1 minute. Let's go to 5-minute. So that's pressing up. Let's do the speed racer thing, and see what we get. It's 9:46. We've been very, very bullish. Where's London? London lows. Where are you? Lots of hearts and smiling. Love that. I don't know. If you looked at this on the 5-minute, you'd be like, yeah, I'm super bullish, right? Are you the only one watching me? Oh, no, she's not talking to me. All right, let's see what we do inside of this 1 hour for. Oh, okay. Okay. All right, let's see how we behave. We have this guy. We ran up into it very aggressively and then rejected nicely. I'd like to see a nice rejection with a wick. on the 5 minute, nice shift down. We're in the premium of this range. And if we were, I want to also practice my breaker block. So we have a higher high, need to trade it through, and then we can use the lowest down close candles for the breaker. I'll mark it out. I don't like to have too much on my charts. What's up, Bobby? Happy Sunday. How are ya? How are ya? Oh man, I, no joke, would love, love, love to go back to bed. Like, I barely made it up here for this. Like, barely made it up here. All right. So my general hope, and I'm wondering if my general hope for a bearish outcome inside of this range is weird. Oh heck no, man. I gotta show up for myself. You know what I mean? And today it's supposed to rain cats and dogs, even though it's supposed to be nice. Um, I'm finding that the more I do this, the easier it is for me to take the trades when they do show up, even though I still mess up sometimes with my setups because of how many micros. Like there was a lovely trade that I was waiting for last week, and I set my order where 3 micros would have worked, but 2 micros would have been better because of where I wanted my entry to be. And price tapped the 2 micro entry and ran off, and I didn't get to get in on the trade. So these sessions help me to keep my focus on what's an actually good setup. Now, if we dig into this fair value gap, I don't know that it's going to be worth it for me for me to take the high. Um, let's see, what do we do at open? So this is 9:35. We swept. Technically, it's a good uh power of three there, right? Like we had consolidation, we swept the consolidation, we shifted up, shifted again. So technically, if I was looking for longs, I should have taken a long entry here, stop below here. That's technically what it would look like but we're in a range, so and we're overall bearish. I think the shorts will pay more than the longs overall. So let's see. Oh, don't worry, I'm here. I'm here I'm here to play. I'm pretty sure I did not take any trades this day, so I'm waiting. So we have 1, 2, 3 drives up. Now, if this one fails, then I'm definitely like looking, but it's looking pretty nice and bullish. But again, it's a fair value gap that they've failed to rise above and dropped very aggressively from before. So I'm looking for them to do something similar here. So just gotta wait and see if we get that. So from a breaker block perspective, if this plays out, we have on the 5 minute, we have multiple highs here. We have high. I would just skip this one, higher high, and then this will be the breaker for me. The reason why I'm doing that is because this guy is holding inside of this bigger 5 minute breaker. If we drop from here, it would be nice because then my stop could be right above here, but this looks like it's going to dig in. And I'm wondering if that's like these preconceived, higher time frame biases. Like I'm wondering if they're messing with like the session bias too for me. So it's just something to think about, honestly. So Bob, what would you do? Is this a long for you? I know I don't have like your levels up and I don't want to open up TradingView because then that will tell me what happened and that would like defeat the whole purpose of this whole process. So I can't use TradingView for this. This is the 5 minute. Yeah, this is the 5 minute. I try not to watch the 1 minute so that, especially when I'm waiting on a setup, so that I can so that I can see the 5 minute shift and not get like triggered. Oh, 15? There you go. There you go. So I'm zoom out a little bit. Okay. I'm expecting I'm expecting them to reverse from here. But I just want your thoughts on that. So this is 15. Let me turn an extra light on. In case that'll help with the darkness factor. So you want them to take this out. Okay. Okay. Because there's already a 15-minute shift, right? BSL right here. Oh, you'd rather wait for the 4 hour? Why not just take the long then? Because there is a nice long setup from here on the 5 minute. Yeah. So like if I if I was following this fully bullish move, right? It's like the ICT market maker model, right? It's like a curve. Even if this is kind of like a sideways move of annoyingness. So if I'm being honest with you, if we break a body above here, the way we haven't here, then the long might be in play. Because remember, but from a 5 minute perspective, when we opened, we swept the lows here, tapped this, and then aggressively moved up. Tapped, ran back down, tapped inside of this fair value gap here. Now I agree with you. That's why I'm not doing it. But at 5 minutes, let me see, just to make sure I can do it. So like a 5 minute, like, let's see what a 3 micro buy would look like. Hold on. So then if I was bullish based off of all of this, pre-market movement, then my long would have started here. My problem is the fair value gap we're in right now because I'm expecting it to reverse. And that's why I did not take it. Plus, we've been slowly grinding up all night. Like, I don't like that. At most, I wouldn't mind a wick through this and then drop. I absolutely am okay with them tapping into this order block and then dropping with a nice juicy wick, giving me a juicy shift. But the other reason why I don't like the long here, at least on the 5 minute, like this was nice and aggressive. We had a nice wick here, a little bit of hesitation there. And then this shift wasn't really a shift, right? I mean, other people would take it as one because it did wick above it, but I like the bodies. The bodies like tell the stories. The bodies don't lie, right? So for me, I would have waited until this shift here, which means that I would not be able to enter into anything until like here. And then I don't have like a fair value gap or anything juicy like this gave me. I don't know. I'm expecting this to fail is why I wouldn't have gone long here. And now we have a doji. And nowadays when I see the doji, I'm expecting a reversal at the doji. Like so that's what I'm waiting on. Now I wish I had the time. So if we're that's why I like the short idea. We're in a big range. We've just entered the premium section of the range. So if I was going to go long for within the range, I would have tried to do it down here in the discount section of the range. But we're trading New York, New York. So Yeah, I mean, it does feel like chasing. Like we've been going up, 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 and it absolutely feels like chasing. But what's making me super bearish though is like we've gone up, we've dropped aggressively, we weren't able to take these highs out, and we've not been able to really like take the longs out. So I much prefer, and then we've neatly been dropping until this point. So I'm really, really expecting, and this is a 4 hour bearish fair value gap. So I'm generally expecting a reversal at this point because usually they use these more than once. But of course, if I'm wrong, and that's okay. And that's on the 1 hour, that's looking pretty bullish. And maybe I should have taken the long just based off of the structure, but I don't necessarily like the hesitation. And it's really just where we are that stopped me from even considering the long because I'm expecting a reversal in this space. And we also have this volume imbalance too that they respected here. No body is just a wick. So I'm looking for something similar. It's 10:23 now. Geez. I don't I would like to see for me I need to see them like stay below the midpoint of this with bodies and then drop. And then we can like aim for something inside of the discounted area here. It's lovely equal lows right here with a fair value gap that I'd be interested in right here. Because I'd like to short inside of the premium area here. So let's just note that. It's just internal liquidity. Just note that as some equal lows on the 15. So I didn't like that closure. The next closure would have to be like really aggressive for longs. Just gotta be patient, I guess. But yeah, after all this move up from open, we've just been moving up. London, just moving up, a little down, a little sweep, continuation up, back into an area that I'm expecting them to reverse from. So let's see. I'm looking for, and it's struggling up here. Look at this. Part of the reason why I didn't like the long is I didn't like all the body closures, even though we are going up, I just didn't like it. Like you'd want, you see this nice sweep here, order block, we shifted up, we left a fair value gap. Beautiful, beautiful. But when we start clumping up like this, going upwards, I'd rather leave it alone. It doesn't feel, like a good setup to me. So, we've rolled back up. This is the 5 minute. I would love a nice aggressive move down. Now I usually wait for I usually wait for 2 5 minute shifts. And the thing is, where is the shift in all of this? Like this candle swept that one out. So this is the first 5 minute shift. We have a nice juicy one here. This is why some, higher time frame fair value gaps can be really, really, really powerful, right? So you're probably thinking, okay, so we're seeing this aggressive move down. It's what you've been expecting this entire time. Do I just set an entry at the base of this and then go? No, gotta wait for the closure because closures matter. If they want to continue higher, they can absolutely come back down, smack people around, sweep out everybody who went long and has shorts here, stops here, and then run back up. And again, what's that? There's 2 minutes left into this new 5 minute candle. Let's look at this on the 1 minute just for funsies for a second. See, on the 1 minute, that looks really really good, really good. But I'm looking for confirmation, like clean confirmation. Look at that beautiful, beautiful, beautiful retracement from here. So now I'm looking for an entry. So normally I would the first shift I'm waiting for like a retracement, second um up close candle, break below it, and then entry. Because just because they've shifted down once, that doesn't mean that they'll continue doing that. That could just be the retracement, smack people out and then continue on their merry way. I need to see this roll back up and then another nice juicy candle drop below it. I'm finding that like dealing with the 5 minute um shifts is set it's more guaranteed than if I use like the 1 minute shifts, or even like let's say the 2 minute. Like look at that beautiful, beautiful like drop on the 2 minute. Because I'm still thinking, actually on the 2 minutes, this is the shift right here. Because I've been hemming and hawing about where to take my entries and all that jazz. So on the 2 minute, we just shifted here. And that 5 minute candle, so like that's juicy now on the 2 minute. So now that's the annoying thing. Like on the 5 minute, there's no green candle. We're forming the second fair value gap in this grouping. The other thing I have to try and remember too is there is this like 5 minute fair value gap here. We could use it as an inversion. We could see how we behave inside of it as well. And maybe if we just tap it and drop, that's the better play. I just don't like, yeah, look at that. uh, cause that's the thing, like when you find these higher time frame fair value gaps that like give you what you're looking for, like this one they use to push price higher. The question is, do they use this one to continue price lower? That would be the expectation, but we have one fair value gap here and one here. So we've had a nice juicy push down, which is what I was looking for in the first blasted place. But how do we even, like, let's say I was trying to do this on the 1 minute. Like, I would be waiting for them to drop below here, and then I would set an entry at the bottom here for them to tap it. They didn't bother to do that, which sucks, obviously. They didn't bother to do that. And then, let's see. Sometimes I get like a little, and then on the 2 minute, like we have a better setup for entry here. Order block. Let's see. If we didn't tap it, if we pop back up, because this is the part that sometimes gets me. Like, do I wait for another 5 minute candle, or do I miss, do I miss the setup? Or do I just continue to use just the 5 minute? Because I don't like this candle. So we're going to push back up, which is fine. And I'm okay with that because what I want is for a green body to push up and then a down close candle one more time. Then I could take an entry. Because sometimes you just get really, really. Did I miss a little crack in the armor? Yeah, there's a little guy right there. Love those for entries. But if I'm waiting for a second 5 minute shift, I need this 5 minute candle to close nicely. Ugh. And it looks like the 2 minute entry would have been better. Yeah. In that little crack. Look at that. Damn. That's what I'm struggling with lately is like, do I take the entry on the 5 minutes? Sometimes the 5 minutes better. Sometimes the 2 minutes better. Right now, I'm gonna wait for the 5 minute because I'm trying to establish, I like this, I like the rejection. So what would happen is once this 5 minute candle closes in 30 seconds and we get a nice like down close candle through it, I'm gonna drop an entry like right here, stop above here, and I think that'll be like a 2 minute, but damn, like look at that. Look at that. So technically the 2 minute entry with this guy was the better setup. What does that look like on the 1 minute? And this is the 1 minute entry right there. I don't know. Sometimes the 1 minute can get you the clean entry. It's like that's what I'm warring with, you know? Like I'm warring with how do I get into the trade. And I also don't like the closures on both of these on the 5 minute. I don't. And now it's 10:52 and I haven't taken anything. What I do like about this though is all three of these have closed below. So what you want is a nice body. You know, like I would have preferred if this became a body. If this bust above here, I don't know, man. I don't know. They swept this. So, if, you know, for folks who are scalping and they caught this down to that low, looking juicy. I'm also like working on my thought process around trading after 11 o'clock or 11 p.m. So now my thought process becomes, do we use this guy? There's a 5 minute fair value up above here. Do we use that one? There's another one in. And or have we just created liquidity here and swept it out? And then we're priming to drop again. Because now I'd be interested, no joke. And I keep swapping between the 1 minute and the 2 minute just to see. But I'll go back to the 1 minute and stop being weird about it. Because they've swept that little bit of internal liquidity. My interest at this point, now that we've popped back up again, is if we drop aggressively, then I would take it here and go here. Now that is stepping away from waiting on that 5 minute shift. This candle looks pretty big though. Like, I don't know, maybe this might be like a 1 micro trade if it drops all the way down to go here. But I'm anticipating a second shift. This is very aggressive after this slow grind up. So the other thing is we can tap up into here, wick it, and then drop. So for me, I don't know. We're just waiting. On the 1 minute, I'm just really looking for an aggressive down close candle, I think. But it has to close out of it. It can't just do that, you know? Like this candle would have had to drop below, and then I would have said the handle here, the entry here. This looks like it wants to turn around. But yeah. This is how I sometimes talk myself into weird circles, you know? All right, so we swept that. I'm still expecting it to drop. I'm not gonna think about this guy anymore. We're looking to see now if they just want to tap this and drop this bearish fair value gap and drop. Let's switch that out. Like that. I like that. Let's see what that looks like on the 1 minute. I like the rejection. Wouldn't mind another tap of it here. So the other day I took an entry similar to this one with the nice rejection from here. I don't like the wick. I want the body to just be more aggressive. I wouldn't mind if they tapped this one more time and then dropped. It's 11:03. So I'm going to use this little inversion right here And we're going to test this out with 1 micro. Stop right here. Actually, looks like I can do 2 micros. Hold on. Sell 2 micros. And let's see. And we have these equal lows down here we can aim for. So I'm hoping they want to stay. If they bust below here, then I have to take this entry instead. Yeah. Okay. Let's do. No. Let's stick to what we wanted. So it's good. They've left no fair value gaps on the 1 minute. Really? So now we have this order block on the 1 minute. Guess I'll have to, whoops, damn it. I was about to switch that to a 1 micro trade, honestly. But we're in for 2 micros. We're expecting continuation down now. This is because of the rejection from the 5 minute. Now this isn't technically waiting on a second 5 minute shift, but I'm finding that like if I wait for the retracement back up, I might get a better entry. And then we can see if they can't continue moving down. Now I could be wrong and they want to continue up. It's been very bullish, but I'm expecting after this rejection that we might continue down. Now it's after 11, which is kind of a scary time for me to take any kind of trade. And I've kind of like gone against my whole thing here. What I just took was technically my continuation trade, like entry, like when it's already been dropping and not the shift and then shift. Silly me. So I'm about to get spanked, probably, for this. Or we could just go sideways because they've been going up this whole time. But I'm expecting continuation down. It's almost like akin to taking the first 5 minute shift entry, which would have been up here and we would have missed, but I don't know. I liked the rejection. Doesn't mean they can't come back up and stop me out again, but I'm hoping if we bust below this, then I can move my stop. Oh, juice. Juice, fresh juice. Fresh juice is the best. All right, let's see if I'm wrong, because otherwise the 5 minute, shift entry would be here once they drop. But that 5 minute candle is not looking juicy for me. Let's look at the 15-minute candle. Yeah. Yeah, so for the 15-minute candle, we got spanked. So this is why you don't step away from your actual setup. Naughty Shakira. But sometimes, no joke, sometimes you just feel like you're missing it. And I think I felt like I missed it on this down close candle. But I think my original entry on the 1 minute was absolutely correct. Like, just do this, stop above here. They've swept it again. And I still think it's coming down. Like, I really do. I still think that. What do you think? Should I try one more time? Or is that just me being... It all depends on this candle, but I don't like that. Now I'd have to be waiting on this fair value gap to get disrespected. But I liked we've rejected a second time from here. So, but I don't like this. I don't like the wicking. That part I don't like. So you're probably thinking, why don't you just go long? Because I have a setup in my head and I don't know, I can't seem to bring myself to not use said setup. And I probably should have considered the fact that they swept this with wicks versus a body. Body would have been better, but I'm still looking for them to drop. So now I gotta wait until 12 to see how it plays out, honestly. The problem with the first trade is I'm a dum-dum and I took it, it's a continuation trade, right? It's not a sweep liquidity shift and drop from a place of a higher time frame PD array. It would have been like, you know, something that would bring us back down, like this candle hitting like this fair value gap and then rejecting from it like that. That was not the correct way to use that because it's negated my entire thing, which was we have hit a higher time frame PDO rate that's rejected price before. We had a very aggressive push down from it, rejection from it again. We're now waiting for a second shift, which we didn't get, so maybe longs is where it's at. But if I'm being honest, and I think this is something about waiting for things on the 5 minute, we have the fair value gap here and here, so my bias is probably entirely wrong and this thing will probably just run. But if it rejects hard from this one and here, then I would be very happy to try another short. But this looks like it wants to continue. Yeah, that's just, sometimes you just gotta read price. So I didn't really think about this very weak shift down here with this wick. That in itself is very bullish, you know? Let me see, did I take a trade? But I'm still looking. If they bust above this, then they're going to continue up and then we have more. But I usually allow for them to tap into both fair value gaps when they're up here. So I'm going to delete this. Just, I don't like having too many of these. Just focus on the higher time frame one. They've tapped into the bigger time frame fair value gap. And I think my whole thought process on this day is probably going to heck. What is this, the 16th? Looks like I took 2 trades on the 16th, both shorts. So I'm not looking to see what trades I took, just whether or not I took one. So I would love to see an aggressive push from here. Like, give me a body. Because it's from an area that I would be interested in taking a short. I sometimes wonder if I'm being too, like, wimpy with my trades. Like, that's not great, but you know what? I'm gonna put 2 micros on that and let's see. Let's see. I prefer it to be above that high, but that's all right. It's not a very good play. This is just me like spiraling, I think. Probably get stopped out again. But my whole thought process was around the short. I like the tap. I like the down close. So this candle needs to now give me, this 5 minute candle needs to turn around. Because we tapped the order block, wicked it. So but this, like the other one, might be a hope and a prayer. So after this, I will take a look to see what trades I actually did take this this day. Because I had one loss and one win to cover the loss, and that was it. It's a process I need to get over, honestly. Like, I'm losing more than I'm winning, and I need to flip the script there. Because if you want to be profitable, you have to be winning more than you're losing. So during the week, I would normally be like, well, first of all, like I don't like taking trades after 11, which is why I'm trying this really hard and failing miserably right now. Also, um, I'm wondering if like trading my convictions is correct. And this is the safe way to do it, right? Like during the week, I wouldn't necessarily be this. Let's see, how did that close at 5 minutes? It closed just damn it, closed a little bit above it. So that's going to continue up probably. But we're still respecting the order block on the 5 minute. But I think we get stopped out a second time and we're being dum-dums because of it. Yeah. So that 15 looks like it wants to continue up, and I'm just married to a setup that may or may not work. But we're in it now. This next 15-minute candle will make or break us. This is where we chose to stop, below the 50% of this 4-hour fair value gap. This is this what traders do? They live on a hope and a prayer, right? Uh, if we don't have an aggressive drop in the next, like, I don't know, this again, I am banking on the fact that this 4-hour fair value gap has rejected price very aggressively. We had a juicy 5-minute shift. We created two fair value gaps. I wanted a rejection from one or two of them. They do love to tap into it. My preference would have been if they just tap the wick and not bother with bodies here. But what the heck do I know, you know? So this is not, in terms of the look and feel of the trade, it's not. And the first one I took, I shouldn't have taken that because it's a continuation trade and this is not a continuation setup. Like, that's something I would have done in this leg here and not this one. This is a shift in structure and that's what we're working on. But again, I'm banking on this 4-hour bearish fair value gap continuing to do its job. Hello, Maddie. Do not lean up. Okay. Do not lean up against my laptop, you adorable kitty. Already doing things. Don't put your head there. Come here. Come here. Come here. No. So she likes, nope. Look at her. Trying to like jump on my laptop. Now, if we can close a nice juicy 5-minute candle lower, we might be all right. Not a wiki candle. Don't like this one. This is wiki and gross. We don't like that candle. Got a minute and 20 left in it. It's not looking juicy. Again, they've been moving to like up for hours, so they might want to take the high out one more time, or they might just go sideways. But I love that we're kind of hanging out at the base of this fair value gap. So I'm expecting them to drop, but this is why I don't watch it on the 1 minute, because it can be frustrating and it can feel, I don't know. And this entry is not the best because these candles had these big bullish wicks, so I shouldn't have taken it. If we'd had a nice juicy, like this candle, these candles, that would have been more indicative of it dropping, but not these candles. That was just me being on a hope and a prayer. So, yeah. So that's the 5-minute. Let's push this forward so we can move on to another day. Oops. So I think this probably kicks us in the teeth. Or we just go sideways. Yay! Great. So 5 minutes later, we're still in the same place. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I like that. I do, I like that. Let's push it forward another 5 minutes. Maybe the lunchtime will get us some movement. Okay, that's more what I was hoping for. Let's push it forward another 5 minutes. I think it's stuck. 11:50. The 11:55 candle is missing. Come on, catch up. Catch up. Okay, let's drop to like the 1 minute. Maybe that'll catch it up. Okay. All right, so this is technically what I should have waited for an entry, but because of where it was, you know. All right, so we have this propulsion block we need to get through. If we bust through that, we are sitting pretty and we can get something inside of the discount air portion of the range. So we got a fair value gap. They hung out. So I'm gonna leave my TP where it is and just trail my stop behind this thing. So if we can get some follow through with that body, like if we yes. So that's good. I'm gonna move my stop to just above here. So we can get through this guy. That's great. And Bob, you're right, you're spot on with the chasing thing. I was just too early. So that's there. So I don't know, maybe because I expect it to drop into the discount space. So there's 30 seconds left in this 5 minute candle. Come on, you can do it. Don't give me a little tiny wick. Just drop. So now this part I gotta get comfortable with, the waiting, right? All right, so we have a tiny fair value gap here, order blocks right here. So it's not weird for them to run back up. So that's why I'm not moving my stop to like break even or something. I would like to see them like run back up. I would have preferred if they'd busted through this guy first, but this is what I was hoping for from this area, even if they decided to mark time in that space instead. All right, let's push price forward 5 minutes. Let's see how this 5 minute candle closed. All right, that's good closure there. Okay, we're watching. It's good closure. Tiny fair value gap here and here. I just needed to 212 on a couple micros. I think I can move my stop to. Uh, no, I'm gonna leave it where it is. We haven't fully disrespected this propulsion block, but we've gotten above 50% of it. Tiny fair value gap here. Tiny guy. And let's watch to see what happens. Let's push this forward another 5 minutes. So I'm okay with waiting. Let's go to 12:15 and see where we are, because it could still run up and kick us in the teeth. If we drop below here, very good. We can set our stop right here, and now it's risk-free, and we can try and write it down. So, all right. So now we're just waiting to see what happens. Come on. Push through. Right now, this propulsion block is holding stuff up. Oh, there's a little fair value gap in here too. What? Kind of sitting at the top of it, aren't we? Yeah, so if this busts below here, I'll move my stop right here. I'm not even gonna let the candle close. I'm just gonna let it. Like, I don't like that. So I'm gonna just put that into break even. We might get stopped out because I need these guys to close more aggressively that way. So what do we have in between? We have this propulsion block, we have this fair value gap between my stop, and what else? Mm, that's only two PD arrays in between. I don't like this business right here. Let's push this forward another 5 minutes. Well, let's not finish. That's better, but we're going sideways again. Can we please, please, please? Over here hoping that, let me just put it right there. I'm over here hoping that, as a trader that I'm gonna get like the movement and pleading with the market, like, come on, you can do it. You can do it. You don't have to sit around. Is this what traders do for real? Hmm. So if we can get out of this area of wickiness, there's some expansion finally. Now my question becomes, we've wicked through this area. I'd love to see some bodies. Let's, this is just kind of like an arbitrary place for my TP, honestly. Let's go to the 15 minute and like put it someplace. It's like we've been wicking around this area. Okay, it's at a weird spot. So let's go back to the 5 minute. I think this is like the short I took and they turned around or something. I vaguely. All right, let's plop that there on the bodies there and see if we can't get past this. If we can get a body down here, because this already took that out. Yeah, you can do it. All right. Can we get further down? I think I want to like lock in. So this is the fair value gap they're forming. I want to see them bust here. I'll just move it right here to lock in a little more. Probably should just lock in more anyway. Because we're in a wiki space, so I could easily get, with that expansion, I would want this candle to expand as well. So let's just lock that in and just not give back too much. Okay. All right, so we would have covered and made 172. All right. Let's move on to the next day because that took forever. And the reason why I did that is because they'd moved a lot. They don't need to like move a whole ton after that. All right, let's go to the 17. Dang. Let's go to the 4 hour of that. Okay. Okay. And let's check for any news. So there was some pending home sales at 10. Okay, so let's push this to 10 o'clock. And because I wouldn't have bothered to take anything until 10 o'clock. And that's looking pretty bullish on the 4 hour. So let's move that to 10. Let's see if they take out all of our liquidity before that. Something I'm not a huge fan of is if they've knocked everything out. Hold on, let's also grab the previous day's high as well. I'm going to take the range off just because there's just too much going on there. And we're digging back into this area of grossness. So I'm going to move that 4 hour to right here. And that's just be the previous day's high. I'm going to switch to this delicious juice. Fresh juice, carrots, apples, oranges, ginger. Oh yeah, this is where it's at. So now I gotta wait for them to take some stuff out. Now this is where a continuation trade would make tons of sense for me. So like I think this is the 4 hour high I was going on about yesterday. Yeah, it looks like I got out just in time before they ran back up. No joke. I would love a long. I'm gonna just set that right here. I would love a long, technically at the body. So let's do a 1 micro so I can have a bit more space on that guy. And oh, look, it's right at that. So I would be interested in that long if they come all the way back down here in the space. And this is where I would be interested in going back down to the 1 minute, because for them to sweep this, they don't have to come back down. Technically, I would love for them to tap back into this and then run up. And then I could, you know, do something like that. So for continuations, I actually don't mind looking at the 1 minute. So we're just doing a 1 micro because, well, we ain't got a lot to work with. So this is just a straight bullish push up, continuation up. So as a continuation trade, I like for them to dip into here, tap into this guy. My stop is just below the midpoint. It's not quite below this low. Actually, we can do that with a 1 micro. We can put it there. And then we can see. So risk about 150 on a micro to see if we can get up here. Now, I'm not opposed. So my general desire is for them to tap into the 5-minute fair value gap, like properly, like sweep this a little bit and then run up. They don't have to tap this back, but I would prefer it. Plus, it's at the body of the 5-minute candle. So order block, fair value gap, midpoint. Could probably even try 2 micros. Let's see what that looks like. Yeah, so I can be above that. This is in between it and most of that. So we'll try the 2 micro trade and see how that works. And then we'll aim for this previous day's high, or just below it technically. If they choose to just tap this and go that way, that's fine too. But, you know, yeah. But if I want to be below here, then the 1 micro trade is actually better. So yeah, we'll just do the 1 micro. Put it at the body, stop below this wick. Protected wicks make sense. So now we got to watch how they behave inside of this guy. But I would love for them to dip back into this one. So let's see if we get that. The other problem is they might just tap this, the top of the order block. So they've dipped into it. Some minute and change left in that. Come on. Drop and then give me a wiki. It's another minute left. I'm contemplating moving my entry to the wick of this 5-minute order block. Let's do that. Just to guarantee that we get into the trade. All right. They pushed down, so we would have had a nice entry there too. So not bad. So let's see if we can continue back up. Because I'm expecting them to just tap the order block and continue that way. You know, this line does not show up in live trading, only on the on-demand feature here. It's fascinating. So I have this, and this in between my stop. That's why I went with 1 micro and not 2. So now I'm hoping for, in this continuation trade, this is beautiful for me, by the way, like an order block right at the base of this 4-hour fair value gap. Yeah, would work. It's what I would normally, and they haven't taken the higher time frame PDOA yet. It's what I would look for. Absolutely. I would absolutely take this trade every time because now it's an inversion fair value gap. And we should see some nice movement because before this, we've used it for shorts like very aggressively, but we've busted above it very aggressively and we left an order block right on top of it. Heck yeah. Love that. All right, so now we're moving. Okay, so I think we're at a point where we can. So this is a continuation trade. Let's look at the 1 minute. So on the 1 minute, if I was waiting to see how far they tap into this, I would set my entry right here, right inside of that little crack, right there. I wonder if we can do a second entry like that, like a one more micro right here. That's a good test. Let's test that. Let's do one more micro right in that crack. Stop right below here. Woo, let's see. And then let's put that right there. And I don't know which is which, honestly. I like this. I wonder if this is like a good way to like average back in, in average into a winning trade with a second order because I can't modify the original. Like if I like say buy one more, I can't modify this stop to say 2 micros and I can't modify this TP to say 2 micros. I would just have to add another limit order, which is weird. And I prefer the trading view like setup, where I get to do that stuff. Now the question is, now we've had this beautiful move. Do they drop back down to here to give us a second option? Because on 1 micro, it's a small loss for this guy, and we're still in on a second one. So I actually never thought to do that. This is like my first time even considering this. This is interesting. This might be my way to average in on winners. That's like something I would end up doing quite a while from now, once I'm properly profitable. Damn it. No, we haven't tapped it yet. Come on, man. 3 seconds left in this candle. You know you want this juicy crack. It does not sound right. Sorry guys, I apologize. That was wrong. That was very, very wrong. Well, oh no. I said weird words. I'll never get monetized. Please. Not like I ever really considered that for this channel. It's just my journal, y'all. It's just my journal. From, So, I feel like I'm constantly talking. All right, so they didn't come back and give me that second entry. That's fine. But the first entry is perfect. I'll leave this open temporarily. Sometimes I might like to wick and run again. I don't like watching, once I'm in the trade, I don't like watching it on the 1 minute. I like, what does it look like on the 5 minute? Like another entry in the middle of the fair value gap, and they're showing us they don't want to go back down there, so probably not gonna get up. But we're not getting the expansion, so we might get another wick into it. Oh, do we get it? Coming for the crack? Coming for the crack? Ah, nah, no. Oh, come for the crack. I'm not blind, right? It's there. Yeah, I'm at the very top of the crack. Give me one more chance. Should probably just put it right here. They might tap that one more time. I think that's all I get. No. Let's zoom in. Let's zoom in. Ah, really? So I think they're gonna just keep going now. It's fine. We're still in a winning trade. We just didn't get the second fill we wanted. Oh, that's so weird. They always come for the crack. Beautiful. All right, well, we are expanding up now, so I will take this order off. There's no point in that. If we can get some proper expansion. This is really weak, though. Like, come on. Maybe we would have gotten that extra. Maybe we would get that extra. You know what? Let me put it back just to say that I gave it the chance, you know? And then when it runs away further up, when it takes its high out, then, that's done. So my original stop is still there. I'm tempted to move it to here. So my entry's right here, but we're still not quite away. So this fill is still a potential. Hmm. Although we just made ourselves a little order block here. We swept these guys out, but no fair value gap. I like when there's a fair value gap. So let's see. Maybe I'm wrong and but they love to come for the crack. Like the patience that I have to have. Oh, not just me, all traders. We have to be so patient. Okay, we come in for the crack now? Come for the crack. Crack, crack. This fair value gap over here on the 1 minute is holding it up nicely. So I sometimes wonder to myself, like, is this the time where and I don't like chasing. Like every time I've chased price, I've gotten burned. So I don't like chasing. But I do like that 1 minute shift up with the crack. So I feel like they're gonna want to like tap that and then run. So maybe we get that additional fill. And then that way that one micro trade has a small, tiny stop. So it's not a big deal versus this other one, which has a little bigger stop. Wait, come on. It tagged it, but it didn't give it to me. We got the crack. We got the crack. And TOS didn't. I think it needs to like put a body. If I was trading live, that would have tagged me in right there. But the TOS app, the on-demand feature isn't as the wicking into it isn't as easy to get into the trade. But you see what I'm saying? Like, look at that. Oh my goodness. Gotta get the crack, man. Like as a continuation trade, I was okay to take it at the 5 minute order block inside of this 4 hour. And then once they tap the crack, they are now running away. This should have added another one for me, but that's all right. The point is, it did do it, even if it didn't like tag me in. So that's a boo. And that's just something on the feature here. So I'm gonna cancel that because at least we know that we would have gotten that entry nicely. Let's start watching it on the 5 minute, much better. So now we're at a point where I'm comfortable moving my stop to above break even. This is the base right there. And now it's a risk-free trade as a continuation. And that's pretty good for a single micro. $100 on a micro is a lot of movement, but they've been moving. So let's see if they want to move one more time. At this point, I think we can start pushing price forward. Let's move this to 1050 so we can move on with our lives. Juice. See if we get that. Okay, so we can't see. Let's drop to the 1 minute for it to load up because sometimes it gets stuck. So I like that. Our entry was right here, so we are above break even, so we're good. And we're seeing if they want to do the a little bit below the previous day's high. So they swept all of this out, so I'm not expecting, so I could technically put my stop right here. Probably will once they bust above that. Only went back to the 5 minute, the 1 minute, so I could so I could get this moving. And the other thing is like trading micros, like a single micro makes me feel like I should swing for the fences. Like just let it run. The other thing I need to work out is um how to do the partials. Come on, expand. Need some expansion, take this high out. My stop was gonna stay where it is. Let's push this to 11. Okay, let's go to the 1 minute. All right, so we're really just hanging about. So I'll move my stop to under there. Let's go back to the 5 minute. So I'll not lose, but this is not looking juicy yet. Get some expansion. I was hoping the 1050 macro would move, but we'll also have this high to contend with. All right, let's push this another 5 minutes. Because that's looking really weak. So at minimum, we're not losing on the trade. Yeah. We're not losing on the trade, but we're not taking what we want out of it either. So just not getting that movement. So we're just going to get stopped out for nothing, for break even, basically. And honestly, that's okay because that's kind of, they've been moving a lot. So you're still hoping they want to keep going. Like they've been going up quite a bit. So you're over here hoping that they want to continue doing that. So no. I'm also in the middle of this fair value gap, not low, but I'm not willing to sit around. So far, they've not dug into the body of this fair value gap, just wicking, but they're coming down. So I would get stopped out here, right there. Come on, stop me out. Okay. So we wouldn't get the continuation there, which sucks. Let's see. Did we take a trade this day, the 17th? Yeah. Looks like I got stopped out twice. Not a great day for me. And they were both longs. So, boom. All right, moving on to the 18th. So this is a better setup, but I definitely I don't even know what setups I took to net me. And I think I was chasing. Let's go to the 4 hour here. Oh, so annoying. Anyway, okay. So let's check the news on this day. So this week I wouldn't have been making a ton. So looks like, oh, this is FOMC day. Okay, cool, cool, cool. So basically, I'm open to anything between now and 10 o'clock. So we had a big 4 hour rejection after sweeping those highs, and they didn't bother to go do that until overnight. London got to sweep those highs. Great. Let's see if they reject from here for a short. It's got the 5 minutes. Very aggressive. Very aggressive. Where's 9:30? Oof. All right, so we drop below here and then we're basically, it's been an aggressive drop since pre-market. Still have these equal lows down here, so I'm honestly interested in a short. We're in a big fair value gap here. Oof. And I would like to see them respect the midpoint of it and then drop below here. So I feel this is going to end up being a 1 micro trade if I want to get this and then that. I like this a lot, so I might set my entry here. So let's wait. What is it? 9. Oh wait, I gotta wait. 9:45. There we go. I'm finally cleared to take trade. So this one I'd wait for the 1 minute. They've made a little order block here. So I'd be interested in taking it right here with a stop above this guy as a continuation trade down, but we gotta wait to see what they do first. We get another juicy drop tapping into here. I am in like Flynn, and we'll aim for that equal lows down here. So let's wait and see. This is why you gotta wait. Oh, hey, Sasha. I didn't know you were under there. Kitties galore, y'all. So we have this fair value gap. We're inside the bigger 4 fair value gap, which has been used and reused like a whole bunch. So this is where I took the long yesterday. Didn't want to go. And then it was just a shitty day. And then finally, that's so annoying. We've technically ran through and swept a whole bunch of stuff. So I want to see some juicy wicking. I want a nice, just, yes, just, this is what I want to see. I want this 5 minute candle to close in the next 40 seconds with a nice juicy wick. And I need a nice big candle closure under here. Come on. So I like the wick. Like the wick. We're rejecting in the midpoint of this guy. So I could technically try at the base of this order block right here, stop above here. But honestly, we're just going to drop to the 1 minute now and see if we get an aggressive move this way. And I'll just put my stop above here. Come on, you can do it. You can do it. Could use this as an inversion. Well, it wouldn't be an inversion. It'd just be using it as it's meant to be used. So we're still waiting. We don't have the close. Don't have the close. Be a 1 micro trade because we have the stop above here. Don't have a closure. So I like watching the oof, hate wicks. Can we get a body below that? All right. It's looking like we're about to get something semi-decent. Still not doing it. Dang. Let's look at that 5 minute candle. Still didn't close below it. Damn it. Okay. So this is the order block right here. They just tapped it. Full, what's the word I'm looking for? Um, immediate rebalance is what ICT calls it, like immediate rebalance. Tap it. Look at that wick. Okay. Honestly, we know it's going to drop. I have such a hard time just taking the trade. If we can just get below, if we can just give me a body, just one body. I'll put one micro stop above here and we'll be good. Probably should just do it because I miss a lot of good trades this way. Like I'm waiting for a particular behavior and I don't just. So let's do that. We're just gonna try and trust ourselves. And let's see if we can't get down to these equal lows down here. And this is why it makes me really nervous because as soon as I did that, look at that. Because you need the closure. Right now, I like this. I like this. I like that a lot, but we didn't have the closure, so could easily get stopped out. I'm trying to be more bold because I'm so timid sometimes when I take the trades, but this is the general fear. So the other problem is like we've dropped a decent amount um pre-market, so we could just go sideways, you know. But I'm expecting the drop because I'm loving the rejection from the wick, but I don't love that we haven't closed a body below here. And yet I still took the trade and I said I was going to wait for a body. So I'm just going to get spanked because I didn't want to wait. But since we did this and might be able to get a second micro trade and we can try that again if we actually ever drop on the 1 minute. Because this is just sideways. So now that's what I was hoping for. So I could try another. Let's try that secondary. Let's try that secondary entry again. Wait, we didn't get the closure we wanted. Oh, this candle needed to drop further. There's a little fair value gap attached to it, so. But it's the same thing. I would have still gotten into the trade. We've failed to take the high out, so it still feels pretty protected, which we should be dropping. But could always get stuck into a chop zone. We need some follow through. So I bet you we didn't get a 5 minute closure body. Still didn't get it. We finally moving? Jeez. Nope. Just messing with, playing with my emotions, man. But shorts are where it's at right now. Shorts were always where it was at for me on these days, but we're enjoying sideways action. It's 10:07, so. And we'd just be giving back profits for this week. Seriously? So this is why you gotta wait for confirmation, but after they've spent all this time barcoding, then they tend to just run away and I never get into the trade, which is so very annoying. Now it's a 1 micro trade, which means I could technically put my stop up here and it wouldn't be that big of a deal, but I don't like that it's inside of this guy, so I'm probably gonna have to just eat the stop out and then rethink my life choices. And I said I wanted to work on my breaker block and inversion. So far I've only been using the fair value gap / inversion options here. Not the breakers. These are all continuation trades though, so we have to just work with what we have. Like if the week didn't give us that, then what can we do, right? But if I can get a secondary entry, I'm not going to add to losers, obviously. That'd be ridiculous. Although this would be a better entry, and then less of a stop out. So that's not a bad play, honestly. But the concept of adding to a loser just doesn't seem right. Adding to winners makes sense, and then take that winner off. You know, if we can get out of here, we can let the original one micro trade play out. So we swept these guys, and then we just barely swept that. So I would probably look to add one more micro and then put the stop right above here. Nothing too crazy. Finally getting some movement, or we just don't add diddly squat and just keep it moving. So this low right here, once they take that. So I'll add one more micro right here. Again, we're testing how this works. And yeah, so we'll just do that. One micro at this 1 minute fair order block. And then we'll take the profits for that one elsewhere. So let's see if that works. We finally look like we're getting some movement outside of this fair value gap. So I don't know if they want to come back into the order block. Fair value gap here as well. So we just have the stop for this one right here above that. So not risking the world. I was checking to see if I was too far up into. Okay, there we go. I was a little too far up, so that doesn't look like it wants to go to the order block, so I won't chase it. So if I don't get the extra micro, that's fine. I'll just cancel the order. If we take that low out, I'll just cancel the order. It's okay. Let's go to the 5 minute. So finally, so if I'd waited, like this is the entry that I would have taken. And now is the entry I'm looking, yeah, to add one to this for testing purposes. And then like this micro could get taken out right there on the 5 minute. And then all of a sudden we funded the account, which would be nice. Well, that's looking like it wants to continue dropping from here with the wicks. I don't want to chase it. I also don't trust like the 1 minute behaviors, so I just have to wait. I'll watch it on the 5 minute and see what it does. So if we don't get this, it's fine. We sat through this foolishness because we were expecting, because we were staying below the midpoint of this bearish fair value gap, stop above the last high that took out all the other highs and tapped into this 5 minute fair value gap right here. And then we're looking for a continuation down. There's some juicy equal lows down here. Zoom in. They really don't need to come all the way back up here for anything. Just trying for the order block. If this closes below here, I'll put it here as a continuation, and then I'll move my stop. Okay, let's put it at that 5 minute right there. And then we'll move the stop down to cover more. Ah, damn it. Looks like we absolutely missed it. Finally getting expansion. All right, let's take that order off. So we'll just work with what we have. So first move, put our stop right here. That thing's going. But equal those down here. Let's see what else it might be reaching for. On the 15-minute, that might send it back. But we're just gonna go with the flow. It's on the 5-minute. Okay. That's plenty on a micro. Let's look at this on the 1-minute. Yeah, this area, that if it's okay for a move back up. It's risk-free right now, so basically just want to see if they'll be able to make it down here. And a lot of times when I get into these trades, I think about where I should move. So I'm gonna set it to this 1 hour extreme right here instead. Don't need that whole thing, but we also have this fair value gap right here that I didn't account for, so we needed to actually we'll put it at this extreme right here. We'll see how they behave in here, and I wish I'd gotten that extra micro. That would have gotten funded like right there. And let's see. This is a, and honestly, if I was really paying attention, this is a perfect place for them to turn around. So we'll see. It's a single micro, so we're and this is what I do sometimes. Like I sometimes forget that there's areas where they'll turn around or I miss it. Like we missed this 1 hour fair value gap tap run through tap. They use this very aggressively for longs previously. So it's not weird for them to tap it and retrace back up. But what I'd like to see is for them to just run through it like properly. So I have now, once I see like $200 on a single micro, I start to think to myself, like, should I just take my profits and go on about my business? Or do I let it run? What do you think, Bob? Do I let it run? Let's move the stop down a little bit. So right here is about $200. If this busts below that, I'll move it here to lock that in. And just be okay with that. I'm gonna let it, because if we can get below here, then we can absolutely run further. But I'd be just interested in locking in. So we have this low that they tap back up into. They made a 5-minute fair value gap here. I move my stop just to lock in a little bit more profit, but if I'm not going to like force it, I should leave it right there. At the 5-minute, I let the 5-minute order block, the fair value gap, be my shields. And if they're gonna fail, then that's fine. I'm hoping the 1050 macro decides to run. I even checked to see what the previous day's low or high was on this guy. So we had a lot of interference. This is an area where we've hung out a lot. Let's see. Yeah, we'll just go for down here and see if we get that. And just manage the stop. Come on. This is the point of the trade where I'm like, should I just take the 200 bucks on a single micro, which is pretty good for a micro? Or so for the most part, I'm trying to just let the trade play out, the trade setup play out, and just be okay. Because this to here is pretty decent. I don't like the rejection because I wanted them to really blow into it. So now we can start pushing price forward. Let's go to 1045 here and see if we get the movement so we can move on. I think we've only gotten through 3 days so far. All right, so next 5-minute candle, let's drop to the 1 minute so we can get to it to move. So let's push this forward to, looking at 1045. Let's see if the 1050 macro does anything for us. Okay. All right, we're back to the top of this. Honestly, if we just don't get the movement soon, I'll just lock in the 200 and call it a day because I don't like the respect of this that's happening right here. So we'll give it 5 more minutes and then I'll start I'll consider just moving the stop because it looks like it wants to roll back up. It could just be marking time too, which is why I'm like really hesitant to, to do anything. Let's just let it play. This is what I usually do, just let it play. We're risk free anyway, so why bother? But it's like, I hate the idea of giving back. And then that 5 more minutes and we've given back a ton of profits off of this. It's not weird for them to retrace back up. Now I want to see if they want to just, drop. So we've dug back up into this 5-minute fair value gap. So this could be a good place to add one more if we want to. But if we bust above this, then we're entirely wrong. It looks like we're about to. So if I figured this out, I should have just set my TP to here. Because the entry, if I gotten tagged in here, I would have been more than happy to take the first micro off here and then let the original one run. But so far, price hasn't given us that opportunity. So I do like this. This is nice. So if we can expand with a good body, then we'll continue downward. And while we're doing that, let's see, did I take a trade this day? This is FOMC, right? So I would want to be out of this before I didn't take a trade today. I would want to be out of this before 11. So we're coming up on, actually we're at 11. So I'll do this. I forgot, guys. Like I'm sitting here like this is the morning before FOMC. Of course, we're not going to get as much follow through as we'd like. So I'll move my stop to there and lock in some more and not worry about it. Because I forgot. I absolutely forgot this was FOMC. Of course, we're not going to go as far because they might do that movement during FOMC. So I'll take whatever this one micro will give me here, and we'll take a look at FOMC too, because sometimes last 2 years, FOMC itself has been a pretty good. Let's stop ourselves out there. Okay. Let's go to 230. I just want to see what happened with FOMC. Let's go to like 240 actually, because I'm not be. Let's go that way. All right, so 240. By 240, we are digging in. So this is post FOMC. 2 o'clock, 2:30. Okay. Might be able to get a 1 micro trade down if we get that movement. So, so from our original entry, they roll back up and then just went sideways until FOMC after 11, which is what I expected. And then at 2 o'clock, we came back up and swept a little bit of highs, and now we've swept the lows again. Let's see, what does that look like on the 1 hour? Not great. That fair value gap is still holding. Still holding. So I'm just curious how FOMC went because I didn't watch it. So the original trade was here. So if I'd taken the TP here, it would be better. I didn't. Also, I hadn't extended this, so that's my fault. If we create a order block here, then we can probably, take it down because they're slowly trying to push down. But this is what, Wednesday? Nah, let's not bother with FOMC. Let's continue on as I am jonesing for like some breakfast. Let's do the 4 hour. Oh, but look, the trade I was thinking about for FOMC, if they made the order block, look at that. I would have set the order right there, stop above there, and like, bam, beautiful. Look at that. I didn't even like bother to look for it, but yeah. Let's go to the 4 hour. Because that's absolutely what I was looking at. It was interesting. It's just interesting to see if it actually works out. Okay, so on this day, we have this bullish fair value gap. It's like it's stuck. And let's look at like the daily on this. I hope it doesn't give anything away. So let's grab that and let's do some previous day low stuff. Oh, come on. Sorry, it moved it to the corner here. So that's the thing about these candles, right? You gotta wait for them to close because then they tell you the story, man. They tell you the story. So this is the low I'd be interested in on this day. Say low. And and then we can focus on the previous day high and then the extreme. So let's duplicate that one and let's plop it at the bodies right there. And so let's just do daily extreme right there. So still bearish. We've been slow grinding that way, but what can you do? So you're still looking for shorts. They took the equal lows the day before that we were interested in. Let's look at the 5 minute. Oof, sheesh. Look at that beautiful trade. Perfect. Like as soon as they drop below that, life's like a box of chocolates. So let's check. We didn't check see if there's any news. Gotta always check. Okay, so new home sales at 10 o'clock. Unemployment showed up. So let's move this to 10 o'clock because I wouldn't be taking anything before that. Okay, let's go. All right, so 10 o'clock hit. We've closed no bodies below here. We've respected it. We've dropped decent amount. I'm just gonna clear these out. I don't like to have a ton of those on here. All right, so it's 10 o'clock. We've swept a lot of liquidity. We've just had a 5 minute shift, juicy. So do I have any fair value gaps below here? No, it's all been immediate rebalances. So let's look at the 2 minutes on that one. Interesting. Okay. So I like the 5 minute shift up. Usually like to wait for a second one. Hello, Erica. How are you? Happy Sunday. How are you doing? No joke. I'm tempted to go put that FOMC trade on just to see what it would have netted to those equal lows. Just for funsies, since sort of called it, you know? All right. So I need this 5 minute candle to close really, really, really bullish. So we've had a ton of movement down, ton of movement down. Let's look at the 15 minute here. Yeah, so we're super bearish. We've taken a lot of liquidity. And let's check this 4 hour fair value gap. So we tapped it a little bit and then very aggressively moved up. So I'm wondering if we get a similar behavior. I'm gonna mark this high on the 4 hour for where I'd be interested to take, like, say, a micro or two up. But technically, you know, still very bearish, but they've dropped a ton. And when they've dropped a ton, the probability of them keep, you know, obviously they can keep going, but there's no guarantees. So what I want to see on the 5 minute is, after this shift, I need a second shift. And then what's going to happen is I'll take a long from here, stop below here, up to here. So let's see what happens. And that's only because we've hit this bullish fair value gap that they used and that pushed them up pretty aggressively before. Oh, I'm out of juice. That makes me sad. So this week, based off of my decisions, I would have only made 257.50 on micros, which is pretty great. I think ICT says you can make 250 on a micro, on micros in a week, you can, like, slowly start to grow that, right? So the thing is, like, I'm trying not to look at dollar values. I'm trying to look at structure and trade that, because then structure will pay you at the end of the day, versus, oh, I'm going to take 200 or 300 or whatever. Just take the structure. All right. So I am looking for this to get aggressively, this 5 minute to close aggressively up here. How much time's left on it? It's still a young 5 minute candle. I like that movement. So we've had one shift here. I'd like to see this close with some body. So it's got 3 minutes left in it. Let's look at it on the 2 minute. Oof, that looks lovely. So let's go back to the 5 minute, because try not to get lost in the sauce. And I think, you know, I always say I would prefer a body, you know, not the wick. But this is why you gotta wait for the closure, because you can have a juicy candle, you know, like a juicy bearish daily candle. And as we've seen in the last few weeks, like, that juicy bearish daily candle becomes a doji, because they've retraced all of it with all the craziness that's been going on. So yeah, it can be a little much. Okay, so I don't like that, but as a continuation short, it's not a bad play. And short's where it's been at. Let's look at the 1 minute, because I was looking for long if it gave me a certain behavior. It's 10:16 on March 19th, and we had some like orange folder news at 10, so that's where we're only now starting to look at this. So if we look at this, we've been dropping, just dropping this whole time. So we might still get that long. I don't know. What I don't like is all the wicking. I like the 5-minute shift. And now I'm waiting for confirmation. That's all. Just waiting for confirmation. Uh, let's look at what London was doing in the meantime. Looks like London got very annoying slow grind down. Very annoying sweep. And then they just shifted here and then shifted again. And then a nice order block entry. Well, I wouldn't call it nice. Hold on. Let's zoom in on this. So sweep, shift right here, and then they roll back up, order block. I wouldn't have taken this. I don't like that on the 5-minute. I don't like when you have like a second body. So this is the new order block, shift, take it there, and that one gave you what you needed. So we don't have this shift up. So let's look at, I don't know why I'm like, I would only take the long if they gave us that secondary 5-minute like shift up. So they ran up a few times and then couldn't maintain they couldn't continue the shift. Now, that doesn't mean that they won't be able to. It's just that, it's pretty bearish. And all of the, I guess I'm looking for like really aggressive candles. I'm gonna look at this on the 2 minutes just to clean it up a bit. So let's see, because they could always come down here and give you the 5-minute shift that way. If I'm bearish, then I should be taking a short from here and maybe see if we can make it all the way down here. My problem with this is that they've been dropping like a bunch already. It's like on the 15-minute, like this is all we see, right? Like literally on the 15 minutes, just been like a continuation drop. The main reason why I'm interested in longs is because we got here and we reversed very aggressively. So, and I like this 15-minute wick here. So let's wait for that second 5-minute shift if we get it. And maybe we don't take a trade. It's okay to not take a trade too. So technically we have a lower low. We traded through it. We have a breaker block right here. So my question is, do we respect the breaker for bullishness? Let's see. Looks like we should probably just stay bearish biased, honestly. I don't know. I think I'm getting tired, y'all. If you can argue both sides, like it's not the best look. The other thing is like I wouldn't mind a short here. My problem is I don't want to wait to take it. I want to take, sometimes I don't like to take it early because, they showed this bullish retracement, nice 5-minute shift. I just want to see what they do. If they leave these 3 candles as an order block inside of this breaker, this 5-minute breaker, and then they run up, then I would take it here and then we would ride it up to here. So if we disrespect the breaker, because that's the thing, right? Like, what are they respecting? So far, all of the, this is one of the, as they're dropping here, they're respecting all of the bearish, like, order blocks, like order block, respected. Bullish for value gap, disrespected immediately. And that's just on the 5 minutes, right? So breaker. So I'm looking to see a nice shift above this order block right here. Doesn't have to be above this high, but above these 5-minute order blocks. So like this. And then I think I would take it at the breaker right there, the top of the breaker. There's still time on that candle. So let's look at this on the 1 minute. Actually, no, let's let that 5-minute candle play out and let's see what we get. Because that's why trading is patience. You just have to have patience. So I would take a 1 micro trade from here, stop below here, and then aim for that. And then maybe if I get a secondary opportunity to add another micro, something, again, I'm still testing out because I've never really done it. Let's see, come on, give me some body. Give me some body. Okay, 4 seconds. Okay, I'm gonna do a 1 micro buy and put my stop below here. And let's go this way. And then let's hope we don't miss our opportunity. But nice 5-minute shift, body, not a wick, body. So that's what I was waiting for. Now I would normally take it here, but I don't want to miss the opportunity. So I'll take it at the body of these three 5-minute order blocks. And these aren't included because it's broken up by this 5-minute green candle that I was originally hoping would be the initial shift. But we came back down, we formed a new order block. And now, all right, so let's see if this is the right call. So at this point, I would like to see like a very aggressive move back up. And it would have been better if we closed above that high, but I'm trying to be more open. That's looking not juicy. Like immediately wrong if this continues. But as we've seen, we gotta wait for candles to close, man. Gotta wait for candles to close. Let's see what that looks like on the 1 minute. Okay. So it looks like I could have taken the entry there or at the top of the breaker, but I'm learning to take the entry where I know I'll get tagged in, and then you have to kind of sit through some drawdown when you do that though. All right, so if we bust above here and run up, then my hypothesis on the structure here is correct and we'll be all right. The only annoying thing is needed this wick. We haven't closed. I just noticed this. Dang it. Hold on. We didn't close any bodies above the midpoint of this wick. So that's another hurdle we need to get through. So single micro. And let's see. So that part I don't like, and I didn't realize that. So that's the other thing about trading too. Like you might wait for a lot of things and then still miss something really important, you know? And that could kind of potentially be really big because, you know, trading these can be kind of considered like fair value gaps too, right? And trading above the 50% of that candle. Hey, Coach Carter, how's it going, man? Happy Easter. Oh, that's so sweet of you. Yeah, you shouldn't be sitting around in YouTube, you know, watching some weirdo look at charts for 3 hours. Although I only have like one more day to do, so it's probably not gonna be 3 hours. But I was just realizing why this trade might be cooked. Should have waited for close above here because I need the 50% of this wick to be closed above. Let's check it. Let's check it. Because we need that 50%. These candles aren't giving me the warm and fuzzy. They're giving me, I'm gonna stop you out. Ha 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 ha. Yeah. Yeah. I did not realize that. We did not get a body closure above this wick. That would have changed my thought process. Thanks. Enjoy your Easter. Well, we're in it now, so, and, quite possibly we would have missed it. We would have missed it anyway, so, it would have been better if we closed above it, if we can reach escape velocity, then we might be all right. Let's push this forward a bit. Well, one more second, 1050, okay. If we can reach escape velocity and close above this wick, then we should be all right. What I do like is that we're staying at the top of this bullish fair value gap. If we don't get a decent bullish candle in the next like 10 minutes, then probably this trade is cooked. But thought processes behind it, we've dropped a whole bunch, swept a ton of liquidity. We've hit a bullish fair value gap that has been used previously for pushing price up. And we haven't closed any bodies below it. So I'm expecting at least some sort of, where's London highs? Well, they swept it out here. So the only other problem that we run into after they've moved so much is that they could just go sideways and go chop suey after that. That's the only problem. All right, let's move this forward. It's 10:55. It's the chop suey that is not cool. Like that's the part that you don't want to see. And then this is on the 15. The only thing I like about this is this big wick on the 15 inside of this fair value gap. I like that. But I don't like all of this now sideways movement. So let's go back to the 5-minute. But once we get out of here, we might hit some escape velocity, be able to move. So we either get stopped out, but again, that wick, we're stuck between a fair value gap and a bullish 4-hour fair value gap and a 5-minute candle wick. And chop suey, chop suey, chop suey. Let's push this forward some more because I just need to sit. I'm losing steam, y'all. Okay. Getting some movement now. And let's see, maybe we can add one more micro in here now that we've finally moved out of here. But we might just gather steam and run for the hills. So where's a 5-minute order block? Maybe we can add one more micro to this, but it doesn't look like it's going to let us. All right, well, this is at least at a point where I can move the stop to above break even. And the previous day I was up about 200 on the micro. Let's move to the 1-minute and maybe we can use that structure. Sorry, this is where it needs to be on the 1-minute. Ooh, so I'm thinking we can add, as it's coming down here, we can add one more micro. Let's add one more micro and put the stop there. Oh, come on. All right, so now we finally successfully added one more micro. So what that means is now we can Oof, that 5-minute candle doesn't look great. Now we can set this micro's TP to here if we can get through it. And let's see if that works out for us. So I've never actually successfully added to anything. So we're about to find out how this, what I don't like is this area, but I'm making it a cheap addition with a cheap stop. So we'll see what happens. We just need some follow throughs. Let's push this. See if we can get to 11:15. All right, so we got another wick to contend with here. So this is our new entry, so we'd have to move all our stops that way. So let's move to the 1 minute just to get it moving again. We get above here, then I'll move both stops up. All right. So now we have 2 micro entry, and first entry was here on the 5 minutes, stop below here. So let's push this forward. We're not moving the stops. Let's go to 11:30. Oh goodness. So we would have been just pure, all of it stopped out. All of it stopped out. So let's let that stop us out. So all our stops are kicked in the teeth with that move. Okay. Okay, let's just do that because we would have already been stopped out. Okay, so then that would have given us back, we'd given back a lot of profits there. And well, it looks like they just wanted to, mess about and sweep and then drop. Let's move on to the next day and let's continue on with our setups. I'm also testing the adding of things too, so it's not super important that I want that, but I also wanted to get comfortable adding to winners. So this is the Friday, 9:40 a.m. Let's see how the previous day's trade, look at that. They just messed about and then finally ran up. So if they decided to go up when I wanted it to, then we could have at least gotten 1 micro out, but they were just going to mess about and mess people up. So that's all right. All right. So we're still bearish. It's 9:40. It's Friday. There's no need to take a trade if you don't need to. 8:30 news. And then, oh, Friday. Wait, is Friday a holiday? No news, no nothing. Okay. So what do we have? Where is London? All right, so we just had a very aggressive drop, a nice shift in structure here, 5-minute fair value gap. I'd be interested in this previous day's low still. Let's see. Similar scenario. So we have 2 options. We have, and I hate when they give us 2 options. We've swept liquidity here. If we've had an aggressive move down, 5-minute shift, nice. If we have another aggressive move down, I'd want to see them close bodies below here, and then I would take the short this way. We didn't even look at the 4-hour. Hold on. Yeah. So now we've got this fair value gap that's holding price up, but if we're being honest, we haven't really gone anywhere. Still have that high and this high to play with. So when we get a body closure below here, it's going to be a nice drop, I would think. So right now we're sort of just in a range. This is looking like it wants to go up. I don't know, it's not the best. We're stuck between a rock and a hard place. 1 hour fair value gap here, 4 hour fair value gap here. It's not the best place. It's not the best opportunity for a trade, if I'm being honest. So on the 5-minute, so we've got a sweep. We're back into a higher time frame PD array. If we shift below here, close bodies, then I will switch to a 1-minute to get a 1-minute short entry in the hopes that we can get down to this PDL. Let me look at my journal. Did I take a trade on the 20th? I did not. So let's see. Now, one thing, like if we do this craziness and then we don't get a secondary shift down, then I'll take a long. I'll take a 1 micro long to take out these equal highs up here. I wouldn't even worry about all of that, just up here. It's also at the extreme right here, so I'm cool with that. Why? Because they've used this to push up, but they haven't really gone very far. So I'm not looking for them to like really go very far. Oh, did it say there was a 10 orange folder at 10 o'clock? Oh, right, there's nothing on the 19th. It would be nice if they said it was like a holiday or something, Okay. It's looking more bearish. We've had 1, 2, but this 5-minute candle has a lot of work to do to convince me. So we've had a sweep of liquidity. So 9:30 power of 3, right? Sweep of liquidity, shift, second shift. Can we escape this 4-hour fair value gap is the question. Body. Yeah. So this candle still has like, let's push this candle to 9:55 so we can see what it does. Just gotta wait. It just looks really juicy. Like we're gonna get what we want from that candle. All right, so that's the 5-minute close of that candle. We did close below this, so I am going to put a 1 micro short. And let's see if we can't stop above here. Maybe we can reach escape velocity. But this is what it's telling me. So on the 1-minute, let's go back to the 5-minute. Let's see. So now we're just waiting to see if they give us any kind of opportunity for an entry. If this closes below, I don't know, man. 1 micro, still a stop above here, maybe just above the bodies here, just to give me a little bit less of a smack me in the face. Because I would like to take, with this, if this closes properly, I would like to take it at the very base here, but I have to take into account this 5-minute fair value gap. It's one of those days where they just run away and don't give you a chance to get in there. Because if they take the previous day as low, there's no trade for me. Like, now it's a long potential because they've taken a higher time frame PD array, Let's look at the 1-minute. Do we have anything? So even if I'd wanted to like take it here, they never came back and tapped it. And let's look at the 2 minutes. Sometimes they just go, they just run and they'll give you nothing. They did tap the 2 minutes here, still didn't come back to tap that. So the trade idea is still valid until they take out the previous day's low, which it looks like they're just gonna do. That's not cute. Because I'd be open to a entry here. Let's see, do we have a breaker in this scenario? We did. High, higher, higher, traded through. They literally tapped the breaker right here, and then dropped like a stone. What a world. What a world. Yeah, but this looks like one of those days where you don't catch unless you try and chase it. And let me tell you something about chasing. Chasing does not get you anywhere. Does not get you anywhere. So I've gotten to the point where I know to just wait. Just wait. Just wait. So now they closed below this thing. They haven't closed. So I want to put my entry there and I want to move this to here. It's not ideal, but I don't want to miss out on the opportunity. And then let's see if we can get the previous day's low on a single micro. Again, they also have this low here, which they've just tapped. I sometimes forget that they can drop from those as well. So we'll see. So let's look at this. Back to the 5 minute. Because this is what I wanted. I wanted to see them close and then take it here. And now we have most of this order block, fair value gap in between. So they might just drop. If they drop here, we can switch to a 2 micro trade to go down here to this high. Might even be able to do a 3 micro trade with the body right here. But that still feels like chasing. So we've adjusted our entry to where we wanted it. We left it at 1 micro and just gonna see if we get that. It's only 10:10 on a Friday. So, and I really like the potential for an entry inside of on the 5 minute order block, but there's no reason for them to take that. If they tap this and then close bodies this way, then like a 2 or 3 micro trade with a stop above here is triable. But again, it feels like, wow, it got dark. Oh, there's that rain today. It feels like chasing. Zoom in on that. But you'd have to wait for the closure. And then the TP's so close, I wouldn't even bother. Like from up here, it makes sense. From here, you'd have to like take a 5 micro trade for it to be worth it, I think. There's still a minute and a half left in this candle. It's looking I'm gonna drop and continue dropping. And that's all right. If it's just one of those days where you just don't get a setup, you just don't get a setup. Yep. So I'm trying to work on profitability. Let me turn this light on. I'm trying to figure out how to be profitable before I start like sizing up, If I can be profitable with 1 to 2, maybe even 3 micros, then eventually I can size up. But right now, not profitable, so I got to keep working on making the smaller trades work first before I try and do anything else. Still prefer my entry to be here, but in case they tap that and just drop. Come on, this is the last one. We would have given back most of the profits for the week. Maddie, why? These cats, man. Always got to be like underneath all of my screens, just acting the fool. This is chasing. I don't see the point of taking anything at the very low, especially when you're so close to where you think they're gonna go for TP. Like, unless you're scalping, like you're putting a big size on, you're scalping like a couple points and you're out like super fast. I don't trade like that, so it doesn't really work for me. Maddie, I swear to God, if you jump up there and you fall down the damn stairs, I can't help you. All right, let's push this forward 5 minutes and see if we get any kind of retracement. Any kind of retracement. We're just sitting in the same place. Stop to the 1 minute. Yeah, it's just a slow grind down, basically. I'm not really equipped to. Well, this is telling me that I should take the trade at the body here with this closure right here. And now they're just marking time before they decide to drop. And they left that open, didn't touch it, tapped that one and then dropped. It's very clear. I don't know why it's hard for me to, because it's at the bottom. It's hard for me to take that trade. Let's push this to 10:30. Taking a trade at the base of something at the bottom of the range is just crazy to me. This looks like a one-to-one trade, doesn't it? Ooh. You like the rain kitties? They are staring at the window like, what? It's pretty much trying to rain like it owes somebody some money. So 10:35. All right, so we're coming back up. Let's see if we get an opportunity. And then maybe we get an opportunity for an extra 1 micro attempt once it starts to drop. I don't like watching price on lower time frames. It's very jarring. Because I want to know, like, where am I? So I think there's not much around here, you know? Let's see. Let's look at that leg. Came back into here. Well, they went back up one more time. And then they've decided to just... Did they take that out? No, they made equal highs. So they're just going to drop. And we wouldn't have gotten an entry, but I'm not chasing it. Chasing is just bad business. Technically, I'd prefer an entry up here, but I know they sometimes like to tap it and drop. But it's taking so long for them to do it. It's like 10:39. I don't know if it's like worth taking. I don't know what you guys think. Let's do 10:45 and see if we get anything. Okay. Just drop, retrace, drop. Honestly, like if we don't get something shortly, we'll just call this a draw. Not a draw, a wash. Because, we haven't gone anywhere, done anything. We haven't taken the previous days. I wonder where it's a wick, right? That daily low. Okay. So they're gonna take it. And it's no point in me waiting for an entry. That looks like we're about below the 50% of that wick for that previous day's low. So it's 11 o'clock on the Friday. They haven't even remotely come close to where I'd want an entry. And the longer they take to tap that is the less likely I am to look at that. We're just pushing forward now just to see what happens. So that looks like that's going to internal sweep. Can take, I'm gonna cancel that. This is still going down. So they've like made a little consolidation. Let's just see how this flows. I'm not gonna bother. This is not the type of setup. It's after 11, haven't even gotten a chance to get in on anything with this. So we're just gonna consolidate and be annoying. All right, let's run up to like the 1 hour. Oof, that's a gross 1 hour candle. Let's be honest. It's a gross 1 hour candle. A lot of weakness there. But you know what? I gotta remember that I'm trying to be open. So if they do push up here and then we tap into the space, they dropped again. So I don't know. Let's see. Maybe we put it back. It's just one micro. Let's give it that much room. And then let's do that. And let's push it to 1120. And then this will be the last. Still nothing. Like, come on. Just drop already. Just drop and take the low out. Oh, look at that. It wicked. That's a 5-minute wick. All that consolidation, swept all of that out now. Maybe it drops now. Now I just want to eat breakfast or lunch and watch the rain and nap. So I think it just, wow, just continues going sideways. So I'm interested in looking for something until 12 o'clock. After that, I don't care. I'm out of here. And when I say I'm out of here, I mean like if I was trading to stay live, I wouldn't be bothering. Whoa, it is pouring. All right, let's push this to 1140. Because I'm not taking anything down here. It's just too late. This is what you can get caught up in. It's not going anywhere. It's just, the only good thing about this is that they swept all of this liquidity out and now they can drop. So I'm going to cancel that because I wouldn't even, too close to when I want to stop trading. Let's push it forward 20 minutes and see if they even get up out of here. Just to see what 12 o'clock looked like. And then that will be the end of it for me. Yeah. So that will be the end of it. I'm not taking anything in this foolishness. And let's just push time like to 4 o'clock to 2 o'clock and just see. But look, F you and everything that you said. I wouldn't have gotten my entry until 12. And then they dropped. Can you believe that? Sitting here waiting for hours and then finally. All right, just so we can feel better about ourselves, we're gonna do 11:59. We're gonna move time back to 11:59. No. And we're gonna put our order black just for funsies. Now, in real life, I would have absolutely I would have absolutely not done this. But let's just see what we would have gotten out of it just for funsies. Just for funsies. And then let's just push it forward just to feel better about our lives. You know what I'm saying? So let's go to 12. Let's drop to the 1 minute. Because by some miracle, okay, let's keep pushing. 12:05. Let's see if we can get in here. Goodness. And then we'll close out for today. It is Easter Sunday, so. All right, so it actually would have tagged me at 12:04. Okay. So tag the order block on the 1 minute. And then let's see what that would have been, because I can't estimate what the trade would have netted at all. So now we're just waiting for it to tag us in. So something else that I did this last week on a trade is like, once I saw like the rejection from the area, like I took it at this like little guy thinking that'll be like the order block, you know? Sell the 5 minute. So from what we saw, we would have still been tagged in. But you see, this is why I didn't want to wait for here, because they hadn't taken this out. So, man, this is taking forever. Hold on. Let's go to 12:03. We still have the order on at 12:03. Let's get tagged in, even though we know we're going to get it, and then we can just push price forward, time forward, and keep it moving. I'll just have to wait a minute. This is why you don't take trades at the bottom of things. It's not, doesn't help anybody. It's just paying tuition. Lots and lots of tuition. All right. Also, it's also to make me get comfortable with the sound. All right, so now we can like push price forward 15 minutes. All right, beautiful. Let's do this on the 5 minute because I'm just curious to see what that would have netted on a single micro. Let's go 20 minutes. That wouldn't have made me happy right there, but still similar situation. We're waiting for them to come tap that. Hold on, it's stuck. Now it's moving. All right, let's push it forward 20 minutes. 12:40. Okay, so that would have been juicy right there. We would move our stop to, okay, I don't know, it just closed me out. That's fine. But the point is, the setup would have worked. All right, I'm done. Thanks for dealing with my the tired version of Shakira for this session. So I hope it's helpful for me. Might have been, I hope it was somewhat helpful for other folks, but this is what I need to keep doing to continue growing. So the trade idea would have worked beautifully from here. And yep. All right. Enjoy Easter, y'all. I am going to go relax. And there's a nap in my future. I look crazy. Anyway.